Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUY. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me.
You know what? I talked to your mayor.
Army of one. Getting masked up and rolling over snitches. Sitting them like the cruise line, baby, to throw out the E-stitches. A wrecking ball to all their scams, the grifts they sold as free. The lawyers, the lies, the fifties is paid, blocking out the only me. How many claims are left in ruins? Oh, let us count the ways. A memorial, 20K on fencing, a fortune turned into 18K. What's the sound of two brain cells fighting for last place? If you guess the ecosystem, that's right. You got lies about money, a fortune squandered, thousands flagrantly misused. And unlike sickness, there's sadly no cure for stupid. This isn't just a mic drop, it's yet another nuke, asking what they're gonna do when their money turns to poof. The greatest truth out there, they know the truth in what I wrote. But to quote you ecosystem pals, they've already tossed you off the boat. I hope you can float, lady, because they've abandoned you. Abandoned? That's right.
What's up, folks? How's it going today? Man, we are doing a Sunday edition. You'll have to let people know we're live because I did not tag up a video correctly, it looks like. So that cuts down. And then most people don't realize that, you know, if we go live on a Sunday, we go early. So we stay off other shows. So, you know, we're doing pretty good, to be honest. We have over 1,000 people here. I'm shocked, to be honest. Yeah, we got some good stuff to cover today, too. I got a nice little bombshell to drop on you in a few minutes as well. Something that you're going to be like, wow, Tug, that is absolutely amazing. I'm going to show you something awesome. I want to mention something that was brought up last night too. You know, something that it really, I thought it was a really fascinating talking point, considering it answered something that we had discussed before, but we didn't have answers to. You remember the handwriting expert? You remember the one that Preston? Now Preston believes they still haven't gotten to discovery, and she believes the case is over, by the way. we will cover that in a few minutes. But yes, she actually believes the case is over totally. So it doesn't matter on that. But she also believes, very wrongly, that she hasn't been asked to put in discovery yet. Which blew my mind to see, just to be honest. I was like, for real? You really believe that? Oh, no. Actually, let me pull that quote up while we're talking about it here. You know, because I do want to address something. Like I said, that came up last night. And then when everybody gets in here, I'll tell you something really, really interesting. But let's address this here. Okay. So there was a post that said, now this is actually pretty good. This tells you the mindset right now. Here we sit deeper in a hole than when we met any of them. Talking about Hale, talking about Ray, again, funny enough, Ray likes to do videos over and over again, talking about how he's not covering this and he's not talking about it. You know, he says he's giving updates about his wife, but he talks about this, and he's online making comments about it. It's strange. It's kind of gross in its own way, you know, because it's the perfect deflection when anybody brings up, hey, you're still talking about this. Oh, no, I'm not. But I digress. You have all these other people that are bringing it up too. But she's saying, you know, as these people dump her, she's in a bigger hole than before she ever met him. And that's actually true. And we told her this forever. You know, in a perfect world, she would have cease and desist. You know, she would have followed that, or she would have followed the protective order. If she would have followed either one of those, you would have never gone to this level. We would not be at the point we are. But she says, and I'm the liar and cheat and whatever. I'm not the liar and never have been on any side. I do have the handwriting report. Now, this is going to be important because we're going to talk about the handwriting report. We found out the origin of the handwriting report, which, again, there had always been question on. And I sniffed out a little lie in this. And we're going to talk about that, okay? So to prove that I did not, in fact, write any of the signs, and I will show them at the appropriate time. Everybody has you, and I will show it at the appropriate. You know, we've seen the handwriting report, right, Lynette? You know, we've actually seen it. And not only that, I hope either you hear this or somebody tells you the person that they got to do your expert report was so bad. And apparently Bruce did this, by the way. This is what we found out last night, according to 2L. Bruce is the one that went in and paid for all of this stuff, you know. But Bruce, he apparently paid out of pocket. But then 2L said that they had a fundraiser and they paid him back. Now, the cost of the handwriting report, according to the website, again, we don't have an exact on that because we do not have a receipt for it, but the note on the website, if you wanted something, was several $1,000s, okay? Now, on that, they never ran a fundraiser for several $1,000s for anything like that. They never did that at all. So if he recouped money, it was for something that was either noted for something else. I mean, it had to be, because what else would it have been for? They've had fundraisers for legal documentation and more, but we always knew what that was for. You know, we knew what documents he owed for, or when they've raised money for lawyers, for the bankruptcy lawyer. We may have not known where it was, you know, like that was, we found out where that went after the fact, but still we knew where that was. And saying that they raised money for that, no, they didn't raise money for that. It's actually quite the lie. So they must have paid thousands of dollars for it. But Lynette Preston's of the opinion that, number one, we've never seen it, and it's going to get me better in just a second. But number two, they haven't had to show it yet. And number three, it's still valid. Now, again, Lynette, take the name of your expert. You know, don't believe me on this, right? I want to challenge you for something. Take the name of your expert that did that, type them in online as a Google search, and put the word controversy by their name. What you'll do in a few minutes, all you got to do is a little bit of research here. It's very little. What you'll find is that person has been kicked out of more courtrooms than they've been allowed to speak in. They have been questioned so many times that they would not be somebody that you would want to use. In fact, Bruce started talking about handwriting experts as junk science because he knew that haha, I got you went so bad. And Lynette should understand this too. But again, I think she had all this chirping in her ear for a while. And again, this does not take anything away from her. She did terrible things, but I think these people emboldened her and empowered her. Like we said many times, they're going to talk her right into a jail cell. So listen to this. So she's going to show it. Everybody has used us to make money on YouTube and I guess all over the place. By the way, if you like this content and you would like to support, think about sending Yo breadsticks. Definitely don't send Yo breadsticks to these people. Everybody's making money on me. Yes, we are. We are indeed. That is true. 100%. We are laughing at you. As you and the ecosystem fall apart, as you're defrauded out of all your money, we are laughing at you. So then somebody asked, well, I'm no expert. I thought the time to introduce evidence like handwriting experts was during discovery. You're right, actually. If I remember right, the discovery time has passed and nothing was submitted. If that's correct, then the appropriate time to show it is passed, and I'm sure you can no longer use it. And if this is the case, then Bruce did indeed once again work against you. That is true, Lynette. If you look right now, there's a decision before the court that is telling you that you have to produce. So you're going to get, when everything kicks back up, she thinks the case is over. She's going to say that. She thinks the case is over. Now, she's wrong in this. Lynette, you're totally wrong. And I don't know how to break this to you, but bankruptcy also doesn't discharge things that are done maliciously, right? If you look at defamation, those are willful and malicious acts. And if you look, there is already case precedent that says that you cannot discharge that. So you will not be able to discharge those debts. It will not work. It hasn't been decided anyway. You can't be discharging future decisions before they've ever come up. That, whoever told you that was beyond wrong. But on top of that, you're accused of doing something and damaging and destroying somebody's business and their reputation and more. And again, that's a willful act. It's not an accident. You can disagree and say you didn't do it, but you are not out of that. You cannot discharge that off. And the bankruptcy, it doesn't stop court. I feel like, Preston, if you really believe this, if people have told you this, they told you very wrong. And you need to go back to them and ask them why. What you need to do is you need to call a lawyer that you don't have any contact with right now, any of these people, and you ask them about these questions. You ask them again, just take somebody that has no idea. Heck, like I said, I'll put you in touch with somebody that, again, they won't represent you, but they will tell you this, and they'll have no dog in the fight. They don't cover this. Hell, you can post it online and ask. Again, can I discharge something like defamation? No. So she says on this, though, there was no legal discovery. Yes, there was, Lynette. In fact, remember when Bruce was complaining over and over again in chat that he was supposed to have a hearing with a judge? That was because when you were asked to turn over everything, he turned in what is called a boilerplate. That is when you just copy and paste some crap and you don't actually put any effort into it. You throw everything at the wall and try to make something stick. Well, legally, when you do that, it's like you filed nothing at all. And that's what the judge told him. So the judge told you have to turn over everything requested. In fact, Randy asked for more than you should have to turn over. And a good lawyer would have compromised and whittled that down. That's what lawyers do. Randy didn't do anything wrong in there. That's what typically a lawyer will do. They will ask, for everything in the kitchen sink and you're supposed to whittle it down. Well, your lawyer didn't. They put in garbage filing, and the judge was like, okay, we have to turn over everything. So with that includes everything that you're going to rely on in the court. You know, if you want to refer to something or you're going to have any kind of report, you got to turn it all over. You know, it's all being requested at the time. And you turn over very, very little, if nothing at all. So the stuff that you think there was no discovery, oh yeah, there has been. In fact, the judge has been asked to force you to turn over things where you have deleted items off Facebook, where you continue to delete items. That's a problem. Whoever told you could do that, that's a big no-no. When you delete posts, after you post them and delete them, that is a big, big no-no. That is like if I delete an entire Facebook page, Preston, you understand that a jury can find that actually it's proof against you. It can be used as the worst case scenario. So whoever told you that told you very, very wrong. But she says there was no legal discovery. There was no legal discovery. The judge did not order anything. The judge did. Review your own case. Again, I have read every case item. That's one of the problems you have too. You've been listening to people who do not read you the case filings. If you've not been reading them on your own, that's your fault too. You are being sued for quite a bit of money. You should be paying attention. That is your fault. But you have a very good case against the legal representation that you had if they have led you astray. If they made promises to you, they told you things that don't work for you, you have a case against your legal representation. I very much believe you would have a case against Stark, and I believe that you would have a really good case against Bruce. Because Bruce, again, he talked you into doing some real dumb things. These guys who told you to file stuff and then pull it, you know, and then file and then delete and other things. Again, that was really dumb. And if they told you even half of what I think, you know, again, watching this from the outside, I believe they I believe they approached you, rather. And I believe you were promised everything under the sun. You were told you were going to get quite a bit of money because of things, and you notice that hasn't materialized, and it won't materialize. So now she says, we haven't even gotten that far in the case. That's where you are. And now I'm out of the case. So she thinks the case is over. You're not out, Lynette. The case is paused. It is not over. That's a big difference there. Whoever told you, see, you should have used the thousands of dollars that you garnered. You should have used that for an actual lawyer, a lawyer that is not connected to any of these people whatsoever. You should have not listened to any of them. You should have gone, you should have found a lawyer that perhaps in some way, shape, or form you could have compromised with Jeremy Hales. Perhaps. Again, I'm not saying that he would have compromised with you, but that would have been the best case scenario, because right now, again, you have gotten past. The only thing that happened in that federal case is that Bruce and others, they got themselves out of liability. Isn't that weird, by the way? Bruce and them, they start working their way into it. And they didn't do anything for Lynette. The only people that they helped were themselves. You notice that? The conspiracy charges that they wanted to add. Now, again, Fed 2, I don't know how Fed 2 will play. You know, we're at an impasse right now. So, you know, we'll find out. We'll find out with certain people being served. That's still going on. We have a pause with Preston or Cook or any involvement. But with that, we'll see. But they did get themselves out of Fed 1. They didn't get you out of it, though. They screwed you in this. And that's pretty bad, lady. Again, I'm telling you, like, what you need to do is you need to have, you like to talk about God and everything. Well, you need to have a come to Jesus moment. You need to realize that you had a protective order against you. You violated it multiple times. Doesn't matter how you want to spin it. The law saw it a specific way. The court see it a specific way. Bruce brought in people that They try to harass and more out of it. You have Leslie that comes in. She inserted a case that she dropped. She inserted it into several courts. You solicited her to help you. All of that will come into play. She contacted about your protective order. You solicit, again, you talking to her and telling her to cover and to do more, that's third-party violation. Anybody that told you that you can do that was wrong. Look up what violates protective orders. It's not direct contact. Third-party contact means you get another person and they do it for you. It's so bad. But she thinks that she's out there. So I don't know what to tell you people. You just I can't get it through your heads. I have, if I enter back into the case, what do you think this is? Again, you think you're out, and if I get to enter, then I'll use it. No, lady, that's not how it works. My God, your statement is bad though. You're expert. Look up his name. Look up his name. So you want to see something amazing before we continue further today? Are you people, you want to see something very, very good? Because I got something for you. I got something amazing. Now, I don't know if you're ready for this. This might be too much for you. It might be too much. No, I'm just playing. Okay, buckle up for this one, because I'm going to show you something absolutely. Man, 2,000 of you have found this stream. That's wild. Thank you, folks. Again, I appreciate it. I tried not to be too late today, too. I was on the phone with something because I was trying to clarify something. Some stuff came up with the case. This, though, check this out. Now we will cover this. This will be part of Monday. This will be part of our discussion. But I want to give you a little sneak preview of something very beautiful that is coming down the pipe. Oh yes, that's right. Like Santa delivering presents to the wayward children out there, we have a delivery in Jeremy Hale's Elephant Shoe LLC. George, Megan Vox, and Mathin, aka that umbrella guy, versus Michael and Leslie Federigos. Now, what is this motion here, you might say? It is a motion to declare Leslie a vexatious litigant. That's right. Why would we do this, you might ask? Well, that's because if you look up new Florida laws, Leslie very much meets the criteria as a vexatious litigant. That would be somebody that they bring lawsuits to bring lawsuits, not because they have any reason to be in the judicial system, but because they use them for harassment, they abuse process and more. The rules on that, they used to be much more stringent about the number of cases. Even under that, she met the criteria. But now it's less, much less. We have a 36-page document that is coming down the pipe that is looking at limiting her from ever being able to do that again. She very much should be. In fact, under Florida law, she fits the criteria for a vexatious litigant. 100%. So this is one of the things that I definitely want out of a lawsuit. Like I said, I'm not bringing a lawsuit as retaliation. I've said this many times. I want justice. I told her that if she wants to bring a lawsuit, when she dropped me the first time, I was willing to ignore it. But when she added again and made threats and threats and more threats and more threats, yeah, then I find out that she had called the police and she did everything under her power to try to utilize that same case. You know, that case that she inserted into every level of litigation that she could. She also tried to use that as a bludgeon to keep us from talking about her. Not only did she do that, but she told the police that we were threatening her minor children. You will see that, by the way. That is one of the many 911 calls. And by the way, we have had, so I was looking through commentary, and apparently the ecosystem, they, 2L, Fat Chops there, doesn't want to bring up the idea that she accused Doritos, Michael, of some pretty heinous shit in the past. She doesn't want to touch that because either he's a monster or she's a liar. It's one or the other. It doesn't work both ways. It's got to be one or the other. And they're applauding him and they're backing him and telling people again, they're going to want to use them. You watch, they're going to want to use them for the big dollar reduce later on. But they have people that are saying, oh man, that 911 call, oh, it's terrible that people would bring that up. She called the police about somebody turning off her internet. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's, and hiding her keys. She has filed many a terrible lawsuit against noting her hubby. So again, by him alone, if we look at the amount of stuff that she has filed against him, that alone is enough for your vexatious litigation claim. She filed them separately. She filed them on her own. By the way, too, I found a little thing in there that really disturbs me. I noticed in litigation, what she'll do is she will file pro se, but when she says, Leslie Federico's filing pro se, she will put in retired lawyer to try to garner a little bit more prestige from the court. Now that doesn't note. Now you'll notice when other people mention her, they mention permanently retired. Why do they say? Because that gives the court an indication of something else. That by itself says something. So again, this document, tomorrow we will have a fun discussion over, but this is an absolute necessary document. You're going to hear, like I said, you'll hear how they tried to frame things, and the police again exonerated all her claims. They were like, no, they're going over public documentation. And that's exactly what it is. It's not my fault if you bring up your minor kid and sue a process server and say, oh, this process server here, well, I think they were trying to do some terrible thing with that. Again, we've made sure the name's not in there. We've made sure that name wasn't there. I will say too, lady, maybe when you're talking about that, perhaps you should go through and look at, I'm going to say it this way. I'm going to be kind of vague, but maybe you'll know what I'm talking about, lady, because you like to listen to stuff. Maybe you should look over your internet use and who uploads things to the internet before you talk about us and in your household. Maybe you should go through. I'm just going to leave it at that, because as I was looking around the internet, I found some very disturbing things. Very, very disturbing things. These people are under siege right now by so many lawyers, so many different places that are suing them. They are desperate. In fact, that is why they have been trying to threaten us so much. They've been saying they're going to take so much money from us if we don't drop this lawsuit right now. It's because they're desperate, man. They are so desperate. And it's kind of amazing to watch. Again, we didn't start this. You went out, you defamed us. You decided that you wanted to bring vexatious litigation. You removed us. You threatened us. You added us again. You made all kinds of fucked up videos and crazy stuff. And you tried to do damage. So, vexatious litigant, Isn't that amazing? We will definitely review that. Now, as far as there are a lot of statements from Lynette Preston that we need to talk about because they are something else. John Cook, though, I thought this would be pretty good. So John Cook decided that he was going to threaten and tell me and to tell Megan Fox that he's going to sue us. As read the shirt, John. Sue me then, you piece of shit. Sue me. Bring it. Like I said, I'm going to pull up the statement here. But you know what? Again, I find it very interesting that you keep yip-yapping and barking for the people. You bark like a loyal dog for the people that have ripped you off for 6 figures. They have taken the kid that you're talking to them about this kid apparently too. Well, you know what? The kid isn't yours. You have no legal right to talk about that. So you have no right to, I figure you and Preston are running a grift trying to play both sides, but you have no right to talk about the kid anyway. You have no legal responsibility in it whatsoever. But that kid, that would be your responsibility to protect. And you know what? They have been monetizing that child. They have been doing everything they can to make money from shirts, from events, and more. And apparently you all don't have the dollary dues. So you want to sit and bark and threaten people while you just had your mobile domicile, you had that repossessed, you're living in a fucking tin shed out there burning up while you're begging these people to perhaps come off some of that money where they tell you some kind of garbage number. Yeah. All right. Bring it then. Like I said, let's see what you got. Like again, you've gotten to the point where you think that you think you're internet tough. You sit behind the scenes talking about how you're going to kaplow somebody in the dome and that you're going to feed them to alligators. Yeah, no. You ain't going to do shit, old man. You're not going to do anything. You got a big mouth. Big mouth. Just yap, yap, yap. Again, and you're playing the loyal dog to these people who have scammed you. And you know what I have to say to that, by the way? That's what I have to say about it. Because you deserve it. You don't deserve the money. You don't deserve it at all. When you're living in a box, you remember that you did that to yourself. You went and got together with a bunch of scammers and you did it to yourself. Enjoy it. Again, you had your vehicle repossessed. These people wouldn't even come off the money for you to get an RV to live in. It's amazing. Now, Preston, again, Preston for sure has the ability. You know, they were talking about they wanted $65,000. They said they wanted that from Jeremy. Well, you know, there's more money at stake than that. That's something I got thinking about last night, too. They were saying to get him to go away, they wanted 65 grand. You remember that? Well, 2L has ripped him off for more than that. In fact, what their plan has been, and they still, they talk about how they're going to do. I would be surprised if there's any money left. But in the world, what they want to do is they want to bring in people that they know. People, again, we're talking about people with some fucked up pasts. You know, these people that are saying to do this, they want to bring in people they know. They'll do a couple of things and they'll abandon you and they'll claim all the money and it'll be amazing. You've been scammed, but you yourself, I believe, are very much a scammer and you deserve it. Now, like I said, I would be amused, Miss Preston. I would be very amused by the fact that I don't like 2L very much. I think they're terrible human beings. I think you are too, just to be honest. But I would be very amused in proving to the world who they are before they go and they rip off people under guardianships and more. By the way, they were talking about, so they made a statement last night too. This goes to that guardianship discussion as well. You know, they were talking about the property and they told Preston that they knew 2 or 3 people that would want to buy her property now. So they're talking about ownership of her property. Tell me again, there's no attempts at a guardianship. Tell me that. Again, you're already under full guardianship. They won't turn over your money. They're talking about your kid and how much money your kid's worth a month. $3,800, according to them, for everything. They're talking about the concerns that they have for your child about education, and that people in the legal room, they're concerned too. That seems very strange, you know. But then they start talking about your property. They're talking about everything. They're eyeballing everything. But tell me again how you have all this under control. Okay. Tell me again. It's amazing. But John here is like, hey, Megan and Tug, this is from me. Go F off. This is talking about, talking about helping them recoup their money. I will definitely see you guys in court. Oh, you'll see me in court, asshole. You know why? Because I'm going to be there fucking laughing at you. When the court case comes up, I will be there, old man. I will be sitting there and I will be laughing at you. I will cover your fucking case. I'll be there. And you know what? You won't do shit. You won't come up to me. You won't say a word. Because you aren't a man. And that's why. Like I said, sure, you can talk a big game to scare the ladies, but you ain't gonna do anything to me. You know why? Because your ass will end up right back in jail. And I will laugh at you all the way. What are you gonna do? Walk her all over my back? Oh, I got you, buddy. You ain't gonna do anything. So yeah, you'll see me at court, all right. It'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. I plan on being there. I think it'll be good. Oh my God. But if you think you're going to sue, you got another thing coming. Like I said, threats like this, they mean nothing. I would say that you're like one of those dime store villains, but you don't even rate that, man. You don't even rate like some kind of footnote thug. You're nobody. You're like a nothing. The only reason you matter is because you stepped into litigation with somebody and tried to ruin their business, and you brought in an army of people to help you, a bunch of little scammers, and they screwed you along the way. And I find that to be very funny. Like I said, all those scammers that screwed you over, oh my God, it amuses me so much. It does. I hate it that there's a kid involved there, but you're not going to use that kid as a bludgeon on me. I can't fix that situation. The only people that can fix that situation are proper authorities. I'm not telling anybody to comment, to hit them up, by the way. In fact, I'm telling you the opposite. Don't comment or contact any of these people, but they're the only people that can do something. So I'm not going to be guilted in by your kid. It's not your kid, other John Cook, but save the money for your attorneys. All these losers that have told you that you somehow, in some way, are going to be able to bring something against us all. What do you think you're going to bring? You know, when Lynette Preston, the lady that lives with you, has said so many red flag statements about you and this child. Yeah, what do you think you're actionable on that? That you think because Levy County didn't press charges because they said that you might be able to state that you stood your ground? You think in some way, after watching body cam video and more, that you're going to be able to do anything about that? I would love to bring that stuff up into court, man. I would love it. So try to shove that in my face, because I would damn well love to bring up how you admitted that you pulled out ye-o pew-pew on a car that had an 8-year-old. You admitted. You lied to police multiple times. It's in the reports. You were called a liar. You, according to the woman that you live with, you drove your ex in to offen themselves. And now you have them and you keep them as a souvenir in a shed. Yeah, that'll be a fun topic. In fact, maybe that'll be a fun topic for your federal case you're already in. So maybe when you're threatening people, asshole, maybe you should fix your problems you're in right now. But again, yapping dog. Yap, yap, yap. It's so funny. But he's like, oh, and shock it. It's going to get disbarred. How the fuck do you think, you guys? Do you really think you all are going to manage that? You haven't managed it yet. Y'all haven't even managed, you know, everything you've thrown at the guy has gotten shot down. You know, every complaint has gotten shot down. You do realize that there is a certain criteria that plays out, and it tells me, because there was no action whatsoever, it tells me that your actions, I bet you money, I would bet on it, that all these people that have filed complaints, I bet they've gotten notice from the bar that they're not going to go forward. I bet you they have. And they never talk about that. You know, they just sweep it all under the rug. They talk a big game, but you notice nothing comes from it. You know why? Well, I wonder. I mean, look at who's making the complaints. When people like a paint chips make complaints, are you fucking kidding me? Disbarred, disgraced attorney? Oh my God. Volpe, he can't even get the story right. Holy crap, man. BBB, I mean, you're already in trouble. You're facing your own issues, and you're like, oh, by the way, you know, too, you have issues. You can't really bring complaints against people that are in an active case. You know, otherwise you could get people disbarred all the time and knock them off cases. There are rules about that. These idiots, they know nothing about court. But I would imagine they have already been told, they have received confirmation that they aren't moving forward. I bet you money they have, but they never tell their audience that. Now, accordingly, they also said that LP had made a statement to them. Oh, I liked it too. Ray decided he was going to sound off as well. Look, here's old Ray commenting on this as well too. This was about us offering help to Preston. And again, don't mistake me offering help to Preston for me wanting to be a nice person. I dislike these other people enough that I think it would be funny. I think it'd be very funny, you know, to find out how much money, to find out the lies, to expose it to everyone. I think that would be hilarious. But people like Ray, you know, Ray had just done a video saying that he was done with Preston, calling her big girl, we're dumping you. It was a screw you, we're dumping you on the side. They're not going to give her the money or anything. We're done with you. And then he's like, why would other people leave her alone? Fuck you, dude. You can't play the white knight while you're telling somebody to eat garbage, you know? I mean, it just doesn't work that way. Why don't you go handle your own business, dude? You keep saying you're not involved in this stuff, then fuck off. I mean, seriously. There is something wrong with you. I swear. There is something wrong with Ray. You are creepy, man. Creepy dude. He's creepy, man. Out of everybody, like he likes to play the father figure, but when you listen to him, it's like there's this seething underneath. Just look at it. Look at how he carries it. It's just, oh, it's awful. That's why people drop off. He was like, hey, and then you had LP supposedly right too. And check this out too. I thought this was, if this is actually LP's wording, well then, LP, all right. So this is supposedly there to 2L. You know, the people who took her money and have used her child and everything else. I'll also tell you this, just so Lisa knows. I've been asked, not directly by Megan and Tug, but I have been, let's just say, by people have gotten a hold of me supposedly on their behalf. Yes, actually nobody has ever reached out on my behalf. If people have posted there, that's because I've mentioned it live. You know, in fact, these losers have lied and said, you know, we have never offered to have her on. Oh, there's always been an open invitation for you, LP. Always. I've said from go that you could come on. You know who I denied access to? Your crackpot lawyer. I said that Bruce was not allowed to come on because Bruce is not welcome, nor would your PR team. But you, oh, you were 100% welcome to come on. You know, I wanted that from go. I would love to be able to ask you some direct questions. So that is a 100% lie. But nobody's approaching you on our behalf. If somebody posted, like I said, they're just relaying the message that we said live. But there is no emissary or bro. That's so nuts, man. Like I said, I don't reach out to these. This is why I don't make contact with them, because they whine and they're like, oh, these people harassing me. No, I don't make contact with you at all. You can make contact with me. I won't cry about it, you know. But it's funny. They're playing this game. Like I said, they haven't quite figured out how they want to handle the 2L situation yet. I mean, they're monetizing their child. She's saying that she didn't even know about it. Last night, 2L called her a fucking liar, said that she had been lying about that and all kinds of other stuff, that she knew about the monetization of the child, all this stuff. I mean, it's amazing. She just straight up called her a liar. And you should see. I'll show you some posts, though. But said they got on our behalf, asking me if I would go on their show and talk about 2L and all this. And I'll have you know that I said absolutely not. I don't know who are you talking to yourself? That's weird, you know? I just want to make sure to let you know, 2L, that I would never do that to her ever. That's not me. And I happen to like me. Well, you know what? I'm glad you got fucking robbed then. I hope you enjoy losing your money. I hope you do. Again, we've told you how to handle yourself from go, but you're too obstinate and you're too stupid. Honestly, let me just be blunt about it. You're too stupid to understand what's good for you. I feel like I waste my breath on you because you have to have a couple of brain cells to rub together in order to understand these ideas. Like when I talked about what you should be doing at the beginning and told you about discovery more, I absolutely know that it won't sink into your thick plank of a head. You know why? Because you're too stupid to understand what I'm talking about. I'm not really talking to you. I'm talking to other people to make them understand it. And it's funny, like I said, you put together an army of grifters and scammers. Cool. You know, they're looking at you. They're talking about your child. They're talking about your property. They treat you like a fucking child. You could have somebody that would really throw elbows in there, but you're too stupid to understand it. Instead, you team up with people like Bruce, you know, Bruce, who abandoned you in a court. I wouldn't help you against Jeremy Hales because Jeremy Hales is in the right, but I definitely laughed my way into wrecking 2L and all of them. I would. I'd have a fun fucking time with it. But you're just too stupid to understand. And at the end of the day, you're going to wake up with all that money gone. You're already living in a hot box out there. These people won't come off the money to get you an RV, even though it's your money. And you're still trying to suck their toes and pretend like they're doing you a favor. That's amazing to me. I love it. I kind of love it. I love that you're that dumb. You know why? Because it warms a place inside of my heart. Because the scammer getting taken out by another scammer, it actually makes me laugh. You know, and I'm sure you might have a statement back to this, because you know what? The bad guys over here, Megan, Tug, all of us, we're okay targets. You can say, I don't like those people, but you know who you can't say that to? You can't say that to the person you should be, the one withholding all your money, because you don't have the stones or the backbone, even though, again, they are misusing your child. Let's pull up that statement about that anyway. Let's see that here. Let's pull that up. So she was actually talking about this. She actually put up statements saying that she had given no permission whatsoever for the use of her child's image. I thought this was wild. I mean, considering. So let's look at this here. Here we go. Let's pull this up. This is her post. There are actually 8 images with it, but you can see one of them that's on the top. You can see what's there. So it says, boy, was I stupid. Yes, you are. And you still are, you know. Again, like I said, if you could take those brain cells and rub them together, you'd understand. Like I said, me, you don't like me. You know why? Because I'm a fucking wrecking ball. Like when I come in, I wreck shit. I'm good at it. And 2L is scared. 2L's talking a big freaking game. You know why? Because she's scared that you will actually be like, you know what? Yeah, I do want you to do stuff on that. Like I said, I could go in and I could report all this to the police on my own and do all of that. But I think it would be more fun if you asked me for my help. Otherwise, I don't give a fuck what happens to your money. You know, David, too. David, they also called you out, man. And you could go to the police and talk about it, too. They've already laughed at you. They're laughing at you, man. You could even help her get an attorney and reclaim that money you gave her. But you're just bitching about it in chats while you're freaking you'll throw money at Robbie. You'll throw $6,000 at his ass. But when it comes to that issue you said you care about, you won't help them. I don't get it, dude. I don't get that at all, man. You don't even have to get an attorney involved. That's the funny thing. You could contact the police. You could actually do something about that. But you'd rather bitch about it online. I formally demand. Well, they don't give a fuck that you formally demand, man. So spine up and do something about it. Because none of these other wackos, these supposed people that are your friends, people like Miltoast and Guapo, Robbie, they're not going to do shit. In fact, they're part of it, man. You know, wake the fuck up, dude. It's fucking sad. Anyway, she says, look, boy, was I stupid. I'm shocked beyond measure. She said she doesn't have any t-shirts or merchandise with Harley's name on it. I guess our stalker isn't the only one who caught the money bong. And I tried the link and it worked. Debunked. You notice they tried to steal that. Oh, I heard a funny thing too. Apparently Miyagi was threatened the other night because she said ta-ta at the end of something. And apparently she can't say that. You know why? Because it's copyrighted by Ray, I suppose. Ray says ta-ta. So she's not supposed to say ta-ta. I was thinking, are you kidding me? You know, ta-ta for now. Oh my God. These people are so dumb. Oh Lord. I'm for real about that, by the way. the brain trust over in 2Lville, they think that they think that their that their chats, they're somehow protected. Oh God, they think that fair use doesn't exist. And they think certain words like, you know, ta-ta, that somehow they're protected too. It's so bizarre. But anyway, there's the debunked. I guess Jeremy Oden's debunked. Oh, that is funny though. I like how she used debunked on 2L. Don't you think that's kind of funny? There is a little humor in that. But I guess my child has become everyone's prey. You know, I would really, really think about who you said was a predator that you're not calling out, the giant red flag, and that person you're okay with, but everybody else is somehow preying on your job. Okay, I got you. But yeah, she's saying, I never gave any proof. I never gave any permission for these shirts. The name and everything, but my heart is shattered. Money is the root of all evil. My heart is shattered. I never gave anyone permission to use my child's name or anything, but she will say that I can't prove it about Harley. So sad. Actually, she doesn't have it in writing, moron. You know what's funny about this too? They backed the thumbnail case. You remember the thumbnail case? That was about likeness. That was about a person's name. They monetized. Now, they say that they never made $1. Oh, but they did. They actually did. They monetize your child's name throughout all of their streams. They used it for all types of different money-making ventures. They were still using your child's name. Again, HD Christmas 2. They even built a YouTube channel. They tried to play that off last night and pretend, oh, I haven't even... They had on that fucking Mon's name. I can't think of the name. Oh, Nat. Yeah, Nat and Flea. Isn't that funny? Nat and Flea. Nat, you can't make that up. Oh my God. But the Nat was like, I haven't even been over there. And it's like, who gives a shit if you've been over there, idiot? Y'all built a channel. You were taking donations. We know people gave. We saw people do it. Don't pretend you didn't raise money on that kid. Holy crap. Lynette, you got a case against these people. If they don't have written permission, they can't say that they were saying things like, well, you were in the chat. Who gives a shit if you were in the chat? That's not written permission. And you can deny them permission at any time. Apparently, these shirts were still up. And they were bragging about it. They were like, oh, yeah, the links still work, by the way. We're not going to do anything about it. Ha ha. Let me blow these words up here. Give me a second. I thought that was funny, too. They were talking smack about it. I mean, they were daring you to do something about it. They were essentially saying you won't. And I don't know what dirt they have on you, but man, you talk about this is a woman that talks about like how she's got the biggest spine out there, right? But she's too scared to step to these scammers. I guess we know which scammer's which. She's like, I'm not going to call out. Like, man, just skip the bullshit in the middle and get to the fighting. You're already there. Quit trying to pretend you're going to get this crowd back. You know why? Because they're never coming back to you. Lisa stole your voice. She gave you, let me take that back. You gave her your voice. You picked her up as your PR. When you gave her your voice, she stole your clout. She used that, but she became the voice people got used to. And instead of you making money, you getting the old dollar reduced, she did it. And made you look like a fool. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. You know, they want to use the child, as a want to be like a child star or public figure. Yes, indeed. That's how they. Well, you still can't. You can't monetize the child. That's the thing. Like they're quite literally monetized. See, with the thumbnail case, they were trying to pretend that putting up an image, with a news program or something. Like, because that's what we're doing. We're talking about public interest case here, right? That we can't do that. And we absolutely can't. What you can't do is, and we talked about this before, you can't like slap somebody's likeness on a shirt or something if you don't have permission. If she doesn't have that in writing, there's this problem about contractual agreements. If they had an oral agreement, prove it. Prove it. Lynette Preston is somebody that we've told you forever. She would turn on you 2L. We told you. We were monsters when we said that. And you know what, Preston, we told you that these people, they would take your money and they would fuck you over. And excuse my language. I'm being blunt. Right? But yeah, they did. Both of you, you're a match made in hell. Hello, kitty. But you guys, you're so dumb. I haven't read any of these comments. That's a lie. You read the comment. You reply to them all the time, lady. How are you not reading comments? That is such a joke. I don't read the reply. Yes, you do. Come on. Drop the facade. Make videos. You know what? If you started making videos on here, I would subscribe to your channel. And you know what? I'd cover that. And you would actually get few hours. You could make money. It would be the weirdest thing. Did you know that? You could call out 2L, but of course, you still think you're going to get that crowd back. It'd be hilarious. Why don't you just make videos, man? Come on. This shit is so ridiculous. So I don't plan on it. I gave Lisa permission to use her Harleys like this in banners for the fence. So we've seen the banners. Like I said, there's a handful of banners, and there's one where the little girl's riding on the back of a turtle. I suppose that's what she's talking about for that. I did not give anyone permission for merchandise. Well, you know what? Until you do something about it, who gives a shit? I mean, all you've proven is that you just talk a big game. You actually have a case where all the cases you've been bringing, you finally have one against somebody. You finally have a complaint with the police. Not Levy County. You don't even have to go to Levy County. Go to real police. Man. By the way, Preston, is it true that you had somebody call the police on Lisa? Is that true? I heard something about that. Again, I'm not claiming that happened, but I heard a rumor that a police contact or a parole officer, there was some kind of contact from a representative of yours. I'm curious if that's true. You know, I guess we'll find out maybe. But I did not give anyone permission for merchandise. The fact that is being sold and will not be taken down makes a huge statement. I have been betrayed, lied to, lied about. I do not believe I will ever have faith in the human species again. I believe I'm going to live in fear for the rest of my life. Holy shit, lady. You're not that kind of victim. You know what, again, if you got played by a bunch of scammers, do something about it. Holy crap. You know, these people plan on moving. They've put you in a hole. You put yourself in a hole, but they helped you, and they're going to move on past you. They plan on dumping you in that hole, and it is crazy. And you're letting them. That's what blows my mind. I don't know what they have on you, Preston, but you've all, like, what worse can they have on you? Do they have you doing something terrible? Do they have something? Again, I'm speculating. I'm just asking. I'm not even speculating. I'm asking. Do they have something like, you know, we've heard the yelling and screaming, this stuff with the kid did they had access to your cameras? Is there something on those? Because you can't tell me they don't have anything on you. And you not do anything with you. Like, I'm not going to even from what they told you, they have 18,000. Again, there's much more money, much more. You can't tell me you're passing up on that. They've got something on you. I don't believe that. I don't. I know. This is maximum lulls, though, isn't it? Yes, it would be. It could. I'll read your thing there, but that's been pretty good, right? I mean, again, for me, I'm about maximum entertainment. So again, I know some people when they hear me talk about, hey, I would help Preston out, they think, oh, that's nice. No, I want to be entertained. I want to be entertained, and I would be very entertained by taking a wrecking ball to these fuckers, you know, and showing people that they raised a god awful amount of money. They lied about it. They will not admit to how much they did. They've lied to Preston, I'm sure, about it. They probably gave her a few dollar dues here and there, or they placated her with something. She wasn't quiet. There's no way that she was quiet for 9 to 10 months and didn't get something. There was no way. That woman would not be quiet. So they gave her something, but they didn't give her enough to make it work out. And she thought it was good. I imagine they also they probably made promises. Like, I get this feeling too. As long as it was rolling good, they let her think that it was going to go on forever. You know, people were going to support her and underwrite her forever. Like Bruce probably promised her the moon as far as money's concerned. You know, you saw the discussions about the thumbnail case. Like, there are certain discussions that she had with him talking about Larry, you know, and the demands with Larry. And she was like, oh, if he removes them, I won't get my money. So she thought she was going to make millions, man. She thought she was going to get paid. Oh, my God. And if Bruce ambulance chased her ass too, that's illegal, man. That would be funny too. It would make sense why he might not be around these days. I don't know. Again, just speculation. But she has the keys. And I imagine too that they have probably told you, Lynette, that you can't talk about this stuff because it's privilege. Well, guess what? You would be the client. You can talk about whatever you want. So if they told you stuff and it's bad legal advice, you can talk to anybody that you want about it. It's your case. I mean, again, they dumped you publicly. They made it look like you were so. Again, you're difficult. They even talked about you being difficult. They talked shit to people like Shara about you while begging her to stay around because they needed her. Everybody said that you're awful to deal with. I believe that. I imagine you are terribly difficult to deal with. I would never deal with you like that. Again, like I said, I would help and be entertained by the 2L thing, but I would do it under my terms. You'd never get to tell me what to do. You'd be like, yes, I also want you to have to say, oh, Tug, I need your help. I want to hear it. Because the way you've acted lately, you'd have to beg for my help. After the way you've treated certain people, I'd make you beg for my help. You know, I definitely would not. Anyway, let's keep reading. I believe I have to protect my daughter even more for the rest of her life. But her life has been stripped from her. Life is stripped from her. And every one of them has had a hand in it, except Bruce. Oh my God. You realize, like, Bruce abandoned you and shit, and you're still like, oh, Bruce is my savior. Oh God. When that is so funny. Bruce dumps you, or he talked you into letting him go, one or the other, but he played you like a fiddle lady. And you still think that he's some kind of savior. I love that. You think that somehow he's also in your corner. Let me say this. If he was in your corner, why isn't he helping you recover your money? If Bruce is such a savior, why isn't he helping you recover your money? Like, don't you all think that's a good topic to say? You know, man, there are a bunch of you today. 25. I can't believe we got this many people today on a Sunday. That's awesome. You know, appreciate it. Are you entertained today? Because I really am. You know, never mistake my ranting for anger or anything else other. I am very entertained. I am very entertained by this. I mean, they are breaking down, and never let them walk away and not answer this stuff. See, they want to switch topics. It's inconvenient right now for them to stick with Lynette Preston. They want to switch over to Leslie. That's been their plan. They're hoping that they can just pretend that all of this has been a bad dream. But the only problem, I mean, the thing is, they have talked about LP, and they have talked about Harley Grace. They've used that child for a fundraiser for a long time. So for them to just want to flip the page, guys, don't let them, nobody let them. Tomorrow, too, just by the way, while I'm thinking of this, we'll keep reading. I'm not ending here. I'm just noting this. Tomorrow, there will be another 911 call that goes up. It will be one that will annoy you and make you mad. Make sure that you definitely give some love to that one for Mr. Hales. If you missed yesterday's, check that 911 call out. It's pretty funny. I also did a breakdown of it. We talked about it with Megan. Megan actually popped in last night. It was really funny. We had a pretty damn good time. So if you missed that one, check it out. But the one where we talked about them, see, like I said, she tried to use that to somebody. I don't know if people understand this. So I want to explain one thing on that as well. She attempted swatting. What that means, attempted. Remember the word there. She called the police in an effort to try to get them to come to people's homes. Now, the police did not come to homes, but she tried. They instead, they listened to our shows and they filed a report on it. And they said, no, this is not, this is all public stuff. It's a public matter. So, the documents we're reading, and again, we have every right to read those documents. The police, they have no authority to tell us that we can't read these cases and go over them. They are a public matter. So for her to call the police, I mean, again, she tried to do something pretty awful. And you're going to hear part of that tomorrow. And again, remember when you listen to that, remember there are police reports that say no. But they really tried it for Megan because they noted exactly where she lives and stuff, but they were also quoting with Shizzy. They tried to throw him in there into the fray, and they brought him up, and they didn't know his address at the time. not yet. But you remember when they were talking about how he supposedly threatened their children because he said, if you do this, well, that could go very, very badly. They were like, oh my God, you threatened mine and children. And she's doing that. It's very gross. It's gross what she does. So anyway, let's continue this. But except Bruce. Bruce is the greatest ever. Bruce, he's my hero. Wouldn't you know that you're my hero? I'm sorry. I'm not going to sing Wind Beneath My Wings. I apologize. I'm heartbroken. Not one person, but one has even reached out to ask us my side. Is this true? Did this happen? Lady, I told you come on my show. So fuck yourself. You put out a statement talking shit. So again, I noted live. You could come on and tell your side of the story. So if you're not going to, I'm going to take it as, I'm going to take it as some kind of admission. Actually, I'm reading, one of the things that you don't hear from the ecos is I actually read your statements. So don't say, oh, nobody asked my opinion. Oh, I told you, come on, you can tell all about it. But of course, you're going to be told not to. Because you know your place. They treat you like you're a loyal dog. And maybe if they manage to get you into guardianship, maybe it'll be like, man, I should talk to those guys. But it'll be too late. Continuing. Was this said? Wait, was this said? Nothing, not at all. Why is that? What was this said? That is a terrible sentence, lady. That is the yeah, that is it. Was this said? Nothing, not at all. Why is that? Well, what kind of sentence is that? Does anyone know that John and I reached out to Robbie? We begged him to get a hold of us so we could find out what the hell is going on. No one replied. I have the texts. Yeah, Robbie actually said that he canceled the framer on your property. So, again, good job with that, Lynette. I'm telling you, you picked a really great crew there. Oh, my God. That's funny. Sean posed, and oh my God, your singing made me laugh so hard I fell off my floaty. I'm in a particularly good mood. I usually don't do a Sunday stream, but this stuff has just got me in a mood. I mean, it's so funny. It's going to take me a month to catch up all their freaking their live streams they've had. I've taken the transcripts from them, and it's amazing. The stuff that's in these are amazing. It is amazing stuff because they're telling you all the little secrets that they've been trying to hold on to for a while because they have to. They have to, what's interesting. And of course, they show no receipts for anything. So when they talk about cost or anything like that, they've given you fuck all as far as proof. They're just making up totals. And they might rattle a piece of paper, which is really funny to me too. How many people keep physical record like them? Do you think they're keeping receipts as physical record? Because most people, it's a digital age. Like I will keep a physical copy where it can't be destroyed, but it's not a single sheet of paper. For me, like if I were running a God, I wonder how I really want to say this because it's not a fundraiser. I guess projects, because that's what they want to say. They're projects. If I were running projects for people, because that's what they said, 3 projects, I would have a book filled with receipts that had been printed out. I would have digital copy. Though I would show you digital copy. I'd be like, whoa. Here's my digital copy of the receipts for this and for that. But the problem is, again, they're not going to do all that stuff. They're never going to tell you. They will never tell you how much money they made either. And that includes Preston. She will never know how much money was actually brought in. They may have told her about, well, this amount of money came in or that. I wonder if she knew about. She said that she had never received money with David the donor. Did she know that there was $56,000 that much? Did she actually know that at first? I'm curious when she found that out. And what about other donations? Does she know how much money was raised for the fence or for HG Christmas? Does she know the totals? Because like I said, I could throw you a really good party for $1,000. And hey, if you got 7,000 donated, $6,000 in my pocket would be amazing, right? But that's not what people gave it for. So, But anyway, everyone is saying I'm ungrateful, unthankful, unappreciative, except my family, except the people that are with me every day. Who's with you every day, by the way? The kid, John? John's actually talking shit about you too. You realize that, right? The people talk to me every day know the truth. I've never done anything to my stalker ever. I have never done anything to Lisa Lee. I thanked her for Christmas. You know what's going to be funny, Lisa? They're going to call you their stalker too, like her. It's going to be great. I'm going to laugh at it. I thanked you for the fence. Let's see. I thanked you for the fence. I'm sorry. I thank you for Christmas, that my daughter had a magical Christmas. I thank her for the actually you. I thank you for the fence. She handled it, but you did it. So I thank her and you. I have to beg John's words whether he admits it or not, it's like having a carrot dangled in front of your face, just out of reach. See this right here. Look what she's saying here. Whether John would admit it or not, dealing with Lisa is like having a carrot dangled in front of your face, just out of reach. That is like, ooh, we got your money. We got your money. But it is out of reach. It is. That is exactly what it is. You know why? Because they're spending your money and they're laughing at you. $18,000 telling you that's left. That is a joke, lady. A joke. But I think that's a perfect mental image. They are. They're dangling this money right out there and they're keeping you in line. Again, call the police. I mean, it's already been discussed. If you're worried about finances and you're worried the money will disappear because of something, well, you know what? It's already been discussed. It's going to be brought up in your bankruptcy and stuff. You better claim it, you know? You better do something now because 2L is going to spend it otherwise, you know? She's never going to give it to you. Never going to give it up. Never going to get showed up. I love it. We begged and begged and begged. We begged and begged and begged. The only way to progress without the permitting was to get the house framed. Call Levy County. If you don't believe us, that's how it works. John had a crew that would have done it for 10 grand. Lisa said no, she had it. Her friend was going to do it for free or reasonable cost. Yeah, you realize, again, like her man got in trouble for these same kind of things. So maybe you should really look at who these people are. You know, all that. I'm wondering, too, when they put in the fence, did they charge you labor? You know, the free crew, do you think they charged labor? Because I'm wondering about that. Maybe that's how they got a 20 grand fence. You know, because I'm wondering, you know, they said that they took out expenses. What exactly were expenses? What are reasonable expenses? Did they take out money for their time, for being there? Did they tell you how much money you had? Again, if they supply a fence, Preston has to be quite the damn fool for allowing them to raise money the way they do. That is quite the damn fool. She knows that, like on GoFundMe, you'd know exactly how much money you got. You know? She would. She'd have the exact total. So there would be no way, even if somebody picked it up, she'd know exactly how much it is. With this, though, she doesn't. I don't know who I'm rooting for in this, just to be honest. I don't know. Like I said, Preston, if you want help from me, or I don't know if Megan will help you anymore, but if you want help from me, you can reach out. But I'm not going to. You talk shit one more time, I'm never going to help you. I'll laugh all the way. It's free. I watched them go to the bank on you. So if you want to pretend that Lisa, you know what's weird too is you're like, I will never sell Lisa out. I'd never do. Well, she's talking a lot of shit about you, lady. So I'm glad that that street goes one way. She's telling all your business. She's talking about your child. I mean, that's wild. She's like, I monetized your kid. Do something about it. That's amazing. I've never seen anything like this. But the plan was given to Lisa to give to whomever. The plans ended up back on our fence with us being told that the guy was too busy to do it. I called Thicket Construction. I gave all the information to Lisa, and she said no. She had somebody do it. When we knew we lost the permit, we were waiting for her to pay the new engineer that I had found, the only one who said he would do the inspections so we could get the permit back. Okay. We waited on her to pay it. She kept saying she was going to do it. That makes sense. You know, her promising to do something. I'm going to pay. And she didn't. She's again, you are in a guardianship, ma'am. That's exactly how it is. If you can't have your money, then what else is it? How else do you describe it? You know? Yeah, that's true too, Andrew. All of them got new equipment. Everybody, you notice all these people. They managed to get it. You got new phones too. No, I don't know, man. Maybe you got them from assistance or something. I have no idea. Maybe somebody donated. But all these people got new equipment. They got new laptops, new micros, which have done fuck all for their program too. You would think a new microphone would make you sound better, but no. It just magnifies the worst. So they haven't gotten any better. But they did get new equipment. Where'd all that money come from? I wonder. I wonder. And I think they're going to get away with it. That's the amazing thing. I think they're going to get away with this. You know, I really do. Oh my God, it's crazy. I never thought I'd see something like this. See, we waited on her to pay it. She kept saying she was going to do it. I told her I was going to post on all the sites in Levy County for a framer. I was told that if I did, that she would be out, so I didn't. So here, she's threatening, according to Lynette, she's threatening that if you post about this, if you ask for anybody, then I'm out. That would be the money, too. There goes the money. So, again, how is that not a guardianship? Make it make sense. We tried to get somebody in our home to do the framing. We were told she had it covered. Obviously, she couldn't get it covered. All of these things that you and even people from that were supposed to believe in us are saying is lies. They are not true yet. I can prove everything from Levy County through Mr. White. The engineer can prove every word I'm saying. I'm devastated. She's saying, look, right here, she's saying, Lisa scammed us. Go to the police then, shit. Otherwise, quit asking for people to care. Go to the police. I'll care because I think it's funny, and I'm going to keep freaking ranting about it every day. I don't want the pressure to be off these people, but it's not because of, remember this too. It's not because of Lynette Preston. It's because of the people they took the money from. The people they took the money from are not guilty of anything. Maybe being naive, perhaps, but they are not necessarily, some of them are bad people, but they're not necessarily bad people because of, they heard that a child was in need and they tried to help. That doesn't make them a bad person. And there are, like Megan said, I was looking into this too. Megan mentioned that there are people that have been talking about on stream about how they had given, different things. And they were taken for fools, basically. I don't mean that rudely either. I mean, that's what it is when you get scammed. Somebody tries to play you for a fool. Well, that doesn't make them a bad person. And I hate that. I hate that happened. People early on, they could have been these people tried to, they all used a kid. Lynette trying to use a kid as a bludgeon. You had 2L, they used the kid as a bludgeon. They all did, and it worked. It worked very well. They found out that they could make a fortune off of it. They made a lot of money. But she says, I lost faith in humanity altogether. I will live in fear for the rest of my life, and my child who I adopted to give a better life. I've never felt more guilty in my life than for saving her, just to have her go through this, even though it is not our fault. We have nothing to do with it. There are many people who believe in us and know we are telling the truth, but better yet, God knows. God knows. I like this. I like how this is going to go here. And that is I have to worry about, because his punishment to life. If I had done any of those things, it would be far better than anything here on earth. I forgive Lisa. I will never forget it ever, but I forgive her. So look right here. She's saying, Lisa, she fucked me over. Like, it's straight up. I forget. Look how long this is, by the way. I'm reading it decently, but it's hard to read this thing, man. I even forgive our stalker, even though I've had to fight these lies and these false allegations, garbage every day. All of the police reports in Libby County are to John and my benefit every incident. This is alleged that we have done to our stock as approved. Like, this is just, God, what does this even mean? But the Libby County Sheriff's Department to be false. We did not do it. You have a protective order and 2 violations, lady. You do realize that, right? We did not do it, but no one's being shown those recordings, are you? What recordings, lady? What put some fucking recordings out there then, you nut job. Jesus wept. I swear I get tired of you, and I'm the victim. Well, if you have proof that none of this stuff is true, put your fucking recordings out there. Stop talking through a mouthpiece. Stop talking through 2L, because all you all do is you gun bump all day long saying you have proof, and you promise us that proof is coming. Well, you know what? I've been watching this mess for God knows now. What? Year and a half? 2? I don't even know how long it's been anymore. I feel like I'm in purgatory. I've been watching this case so long some days. And you never come off any proof. You keep saying it's right around the bend. Well, I've been there before. I've heard this from other scammer bullshit artists. And they always promise you it's coming. It's coming. And it never does. Never materializes. So if you got it, put up or shut up. You know? Oh, God, it kills me. I think because everybody wants to draw this out as long as it gets, the longer it draws out, the more money it makes everybody. Well, yeah, I'm going to monetize you forever, lady. I'm going to monetize your stupid until you end up losing your case. I think it's funny. Yeah, of course. I'm not going to stop monetizing you. You want to be able to go and slink away after you've done all that? No, man. I put in my effort. I watch it, but I also read everything you post. How can you complain? You have thousands of people watching. Thousands, man. The bus stops here because I'm not going to stop talking now. The truth will be told. It will be told every day until the day I die, because I'm innocent. Blah, 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 blah. Jeez, man. But it goes with the shame on you. You know, all this is the same thing all the time, you know. But this part is funny. God. She's posted a lot lately, though. Check this out. I mean, a lot. That's a big, long post, too. That's a long-ass post, lady. Give me a second. Let me show you this. She's been on a posting spree lately. No. And when she's on her little posting spree too, well, what's really entertaining about, like I said, we offered to help. You know, we offered to help. We have there's no positive besides being entertained. There's no positive in there for helping, except it's going to own these idiots. But you know, well, we did it anyway because it'd be fun. But look here. Here's her stuff again. There was the one we talked about earlier. I'm in a hole digger, a digger. I'm in a hole deeper. I said digger. I was like, wait a minute, dug deeper is what I was trying to say. And it came out like dig. Let's see, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. But I'm a whole deeper. We've seen this one, right? We saw this one. We saw, actually, she's also whining about people. And I liked this too. Did you catch this here? Did you catch the thing about the e-bike? This is something I wanted to point out too. They're trying to stick to a story that John somehow in some way is Tug is 6'2". Now I'm like 6'4" and change is what it is. And then when I put shoes on and everything, I get taller. Like when I went to Anime Matsuri with the freaking shoes on, I was like 6'5" and change. But typically it's like 6'4" and change. So I'm quite tall. Although these days, man, I run across kids. It used to be that was like a monster height. Nowadays, it seems like kids get taller and taller. It's crazy. But I like the e-bike thing. So they're trying to tell you, remember the e-bike that we saw running around on their property? Well, they're trying to excuse having all these random things when they're asking people for money. They're asking for, they're not delivering an item. It's not like if you decided to go to her flea market or something, she's giving you something for that, right? But that's not what they were doing. They would even do this. This always amazed me. They would have the audacity to go into chats. You could tell that 2L and them were monetizing the shit out of him. They knew it. They wanted to placate her. They would send her shiny rocks and baubles. They'd send her, I guess, the peen rocks or whatever she decided she wanted. She'd go into their stupid auctions where people are overpaying like hell for their garbage, their trinkets. And she'd be like, I want this one or that one. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, sure. We'll send you that. We'll definitely see. Because they were monetizing her, I mean, they had to keep her placated. But we're finding now. And again, she got a lot of stuff from that, too. She got quite a bit of merchandise. So she did benefit from that. You all should watch, if you haven't yet. I typically don't recommend ecosystem videos, but I really did enjoy Ray's not the last one, but the one before that, where he's talking about letting Preston go, because it is so condescending. It is such a nasty little piece of work. Like I said, he keeps calling her big girl. Oh, you big girl. You're a big. I mean, we're talking about a 60-plus-year-old lady. Like, that is so insulting. But the way he does it, it's like he's talking to a child. You're a big girl. You can go out and do everything on your own. Yes, you can. It's so gross. But you should watch that one. That one's really funny. Megan will clip some. Oh, and this is funny too. So Stupid Dave put out a short today. Stupid Dave, he actually put out something saying that he is totally anti-doxing. And I thought that was kind of interesting, considering, again, the doxing of Megan's family. They didn't seem to have a problem with that. Shizzy, when Shizzy was doxed, they didn't seem to have any problem with that. He seems to be quite okay with chilling with a strong-arm freaking fraud and extortionist and introducing his people to it. But he kept trying to say that Megan Fox had doxed him. Now, I thought this was really interesting, considering he did interviews with Michael Volpe. And in those interviews, guess what? He uses his entire name. So before Megan supposedly was doxing him, he was using his entire fucking name in consensual interviews. His name also, I mean, again, he was putting it out into the public. He wasn't trying to shield his name. He wasn't asking people not to use it. He was using it again. Like for me, I don't use my real name. These people don't care about that, though. They always thought it was a good bludgeon to use. But Shizzy, I didn't see any complaints about that. In fact, who promoted lips over and over and over? This guy, he did, But he was wanting to be the victim, and he wanted to say that he opposes doxing and more. So he put out a whining. Megan took him to task, and it was pretty damn funny. So he put out one of his never blinking, creepy-eyed fucking videos. Oh my God, man. I'm like, dude, is there a bell tower you need to climb on today, or what? What's going on with you, man? I mean, Lord. He reminds me like of a character from V. Have you ever? Maybe you all remember this. Back in the '80s, there was a show. It was big because of there was nothing like it on TV, but it was V for Visitors, and the Visitors. I'm not going to ruin anything on the plot. The Visitors turned out to be lizard people, right? Some of the stuff, they would eat rats and they wouldn't blink, things like that. I'm like, dude, it reminds me of a fucking V when he's doing a video because he never blinks. Oh, it so weirds me out. Let me see. Is there anything else I wanted to put in here today? I said I really wanted to bring up how John was going to sue me today, though. I thought that was really funny. Oh, she's commenting right now. Holy crap. She is commenting right now. Look at this. This is funny. So check this out here. That's funny. Somebody told her about, the whole. They told her, no, bankruptcy generally does not absolve you of federal crime. In Florida, bankruptcy primarily addresses civil debts, while criminal charges involve violations of criminal laws prosecuted by the government, criminal fines, restitution, criminal penalties, typically not discharged in bankruptcies. Well, civil too. Again, this isn't really like criminal as well. You're talking about civil, but they're willful and malicious acts. So, for her, with this being brought up here, she's like, I've never been charged with any criminal crime. My record is clear. Okay. I swear to God, you people, you don't care. You hurt people and hurt people and hurt people. You don't give a damn. You know why people don't give you money? Because you sound like a nut job. That's why. This part, again, wording here, they're talking about civil liability. Wording could be better, but you understand what they're saying. They're trying to tell her that there's a difference between. Now, they used criminal, but again, the meaning there. If she had any idea what she was talking about, she'd understand that. But instead, it's victim. My God, man. But I mean, it's amazing because, again, Preston, ultimately, you talk a big game, but these people robbed you and you're not doing anything about it. I think that's funny. Oh, here's another one. Oh my God. Let's see. Here's one. Here's another one. I mean, she's commenting right now, so we might as well give her one here. Well, I don't condone your actions that have been very public. Again, Dragon's Gravy's here. And again, like I said, I think the person was bringing up a good point when they were trying to tell her about criminal. They meant willful and malicious acts is what they were talking about. So they don't need a criminal defense attorney, but what they don't need a bankruptcy attorney. What they need is they need a civil lawyer. They need a real lawyer. They don't need a bankruptcy ain't going to save them. And you're right. That's what you're telling them. So you're 100% right, But I do believe that you have been taken advantage of by a couple of lawyers, multiple YouTubers that have outgrifted you. That's right. And using you, a certain YouTuber has raised nearly 100K in your name, maybe more. I mean, again, we have no idea. But the amount of money, God, the money faucet, it flowed. You notice when the money faucet started having problems, that's when they wanted to turn the page. That when it dried up, they were like, and then I wonder if they instigated problems. They knew that they weren't going to come off money. I even wonder if they instigated a bunch of this shit because they knew when Michelle responded, she is so unlikable that people would be like, ugh, they would side against her because she's very unlikable. I mean, look, 2L and the gang, if you were talking about somebody that was likable, could you imagine if you were dealing with like a really nice couple, you know? Then again, I mean, we wouldn't be in this situation with the liability and stuff. But if we were in some way, if we were dealing with a nice couple, the way they tried to frame them, you know, because that's what they said all the time. And they tried to pull this shit, it would have never worked. People would have looked at that and they'd be like, oh my God, no, you know, these people are monsters. But unfortunately for Lynette, she comes off as a horrible fucking person. And people hate dealing with her. She's aggressive and nasty. She's very low IQ. And like I said, it comes across too. You know? So they're like, you know, I doubt you've ever seen any much of that. So of course she picks up the look, so it went from 64 to 100. Where are you getting this? Where are you getting your information? That's laughable. No, idiot. It was 56 from one source. One source. And on top of that, again, they have raised all types of money on your name. They, on their channel, have picked up, again, just super chats. And this is only from your other blow up. This is off of your name. They picked up $28,000 plus on super chats. Again, a lot of that would have been your money. So how much did they pick up off of HD Christmas? HD Christmas 2. How much on merchandising? How much of all these other things? Again, how many freaking peen rocks did they manage to sell because they were covering you? Like, again, she wants to play obstinate. See, this is why nobody wants to help her. I wouldn't fucking help this woman unless I were entertained. Like I said, it would entertain me to wreck these other people. But you see why people are like, yeah, fuck her. That's why her grifting's never worked in the past. It worked this time because, again, a bigger name came in. But she has no idea how much money's been raised, and you can tell. It doesn't even dawn on her that there's Venmo, there's PayPal, there's Coffee, there's Cash App. There's all these different ways that people raise money, and they have been doing it. And she's only been able to watch one. She sees what's raised publicly, the $56,000, which again, we know is a legit total. That number, there were big numbers that came up besides them too. You know, David the donor may be the big one, but there were other big fish in the sea too. You know, you had another person say that they gave $8,000 to the mix. Okay, well, right there. I mean, you're talking those two people alone. With that's $64,000 just from those two people. And all she can do is be hateful to the people that mention this stuff. She's hateful to Dude right here. Because Dude is like, hey, you know, I think these people screwed you. And she's like, oh my God. That's why nobody will help you. You know? Like I said, it's not really helping her. It would be more like entertaining myself. You know, I would entertain myself because I think she's a terrible human being. She would also, you know why Lynette Preston would not come on my show? Because she wouldn't want to hear the truth about herself. Because I wouldn't sugarcoat this shit for her. I wouldn't. I would not. You know what? I wouldn't be like 2L and stuff because it's just like anybody else. I don't owe you anything, lady. I think you're guilty. I think you did horrible things. I think you've done some pretty horrible things, but I think these people have empowered you to do even worse things. I think you could have walked away with a slap on the wrist. Actually, you should have walked away after the protective order thing. When Jeremy Hales was deciding to drop stuff, you could have come to some kind of conclusion with him. You could have perhaps worked out some kind of restitution and been done. You know, the protective order, again, your mess was on the sideline. He had a protective order in place. He didn't want to have to spend $400,000 fucking dollars. Nobody does. What he wanted is peace. Do you think that somebody went out and wanted to spend $400,000 dealing with an army of crackheads? No, absolutely not. These people instead, though, like I said, they'll threaten. What's funny is they'll threaten people like myself, but they certainly won't threaten 2L and them about litigation because they're cowards. They are You're a coward, Lynette. That's what you are. I hope somebody tells you that, too. I hope you're listening. I hope you hear what I'm saying. You're a coward because you can't stand up to these people. I mean, sure, you can terrorize the guy across the street, but the people that are holding your money, you don't have the spine to actually stand up to because you are a cowardly. And the man that you're with, he is not a man at all. He is a shadow of a man that you've accused of some pretty heinous shit. And these people are talking about saving John, too. They need to save him from you. Because he's actually the good guy. They were saying that yet again. He's the good guy here, and you're the monster. Which I think is cool, too, because what that tells me is that they think you're a liar. They're saying that she's a liar, man. Don't you find these admissions amazing? Because that's what this is. They're admitting that she's a terrible human being. Let's see if there's any new ones. Let me check real quick. And then we're going to do super chats. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. She cannot stay off here talking that smack. Yeah, she was posting. God, she's still. Yeah, she was. Oh, my God, dude. Look at this here. Here we go. Here's another one. I mean, she's all over this. Hey. This is the posting setup. Remember that big long thing I read to you? So you have people discussing this here. You know, they're asking you questions and more. And Artsy Girl was like, are you ever at fault for anything? This is a good question, by the way, Artsy Girl. You ever fall? Like, take accountability. Quit blaming others for your downfall. No one wants your forgiveness. Take care of yourself, by yourself, for yourself. You know what? I agree. She's like, what would you like me to take accountability for? That's my question to you. What would you like me to take accountability for? And whatever it is, bring forth the proof that you accuse me of. Please and thank you. Have a blessed day. And she's like, look, I donated over $500 towards your cause. And I would like you to pay me back for one. Oh, shit, lady. How am I going to pay you back with something I was never given? How am I going to pay you back for something I was never giving you? So here she's noting, this lady is like, see, this is where you're running into the crazy issue. And if Lynette, if you weren't such an asshole, maybe these people would get this. They're like, dude, I don't want to back you anymore. Like, give me back my $500. And Lynette's like, look, I never got the money. I can't pay you back. But instead she has to act like an obstinate asshole. And she runs into that. I hope too, Artsy Girl. I hope you realize that the people that told you to back her and have told you, again, they never supply you with proof of anything. They would make crazy claims. But they didn't supply you in it. They told you to back this lady that for somehow in some way, she's a poor innocent victim out here. The nicest person. But she treats you like shit. You know, and you can imagine living across the street from this person. Imagine what they would do. Imagine it. But when you look at their behavior, have you never dealt with people like this? See, I'm going to just cut through. I'm going to use some words they probably won't like. These people are what we would refer to out here as white trash. You know, they are. They are terrible, you know, and that doesn't mean poor. It doesn't mean any of those things like they try to use as a defense, they are on the class, like they are classless. They are, I mean, look at look at how they live. Look at how they act. Look at what they allow around themselves and their kid. They are the epitome of dysfunction. That is what people mean when they say white trash. And these people were like, they were trying to back it over and over. And they would find any reason to attack a guy. They pulled up his divorce, where people, again, anybody can claim anything in a divorce. Anything. People will say some horrible things about you in that, because ultimately it's allowed. It's unfortunate. It brings out the worst because people try to hurt each other in those. You don't know what's the truth. You can't believe those things. But it also didn't have any bearing on Lynette Preston stuff, because if we wanted to bring up the past, well, there's plenty of horrible things there. But she's talking that smack, man. I mean, she is. And there's a lot of people who've been like, yo, here's Stacy been like, you've been taken for a fool that you are, man. Scammers, scamming scammers. Eventually you all get exposed. And that's true. And they're end up. They're after everything. And right now, again, she's lost quite a bit. How are you going to pay for your property tax when it rolls around next year, Lynette? How are you going to build up anything? You're not. You've got nothing. And what are you going to do when your flea market money runs out, when nobody else is paying for the booth? What are you going to do then? Because you don't offer anything. You don't bring any services. And flea markets, the only people that, let's be honest about that too. The only people that really win at a flea market are the owners. You know, like, you never make enough money to really keep a huge venture. Like, I've known people that go out and do that, like in their retirement, you know, they sell items here and there, but you don't really win with that. You know, you win if it's free. Like, if everything's profit, like if you didn't have to pay for the booth space and you don't have to pay for the merchandise and everything else, then yeah, you can win with that. But you can't win like the way when you start paying for it all. It's not going to work. And that's what they're going to find out real quick. But like I said, I do believe they've been wrong. See, I don't like Lynette Preston at all. You can hear it when I speak. But I think they were wronged in this incident. See? I can be honest about it. It can be both things at once. I think these are terrible human beings, but I think they ran into some other terrible human beings, and those pieces of shit, they managed to outscam them. It's beautiful. So I'm sure there will be more stuff, but let's go on. Let's look at stuff. Let's look at some super chats. Let's see what's here. Let me make sure. First of all, let me check any outside source so I don't miss anything. Oh, I had some new avatars. That's cool. Let me check this out. Hey, that's cool. I like that wrecking ball. Oh my God, this is funny. I like that wrecking ball avatar. Let me pull this up for you. You want to see something funny? Check this out. You got little fat tug with as a wrecking ball. Oh my God, I love it. I don't know. You know, people don't. I don't know how more people don't laugh at themselves, by the way. You know what I mean? I don't get it. Give me 1 minute here. Hey, wait, what is that? Give me 1 second. I'm looking at something. That's funny. So here, explain to me something too. You want me to show you something on the doxing thing for Dave? You want me to show you something that totally will destroy his narrative about Megan Fox doxing him? Would you like to see something? Somebody send it over. I appreciate you, dude, for sending that. I don't know if you want credit, cool, take it. But if not, but you want to see something that absolutely destroys that narrative of him being doxed by Megan? So there is check this out. And I never want to hear another thing from that fat, dumb piece of garbage. Look at this. This is Pawn Chaser. This is talking about his podcast, right? Now, I wonder, what is this name across the top here? What is that? Is it doxing? No, it's not doxing. It's what he filled in himself. So he has his name attached to his business. Wow, so I guess Megan somehow doxes him by mentioning his real name that he attaches to the top of his business. Isn't that strange? He's been claiming again Megan has doxed him. God, you can't. I swear, what idiots, man. Oh, I can't wait to make fun of that with her. What a bunch of morons. Check this out. You want to see something funny? Like, here's Wrecking Ball Tug. Look how. Get a little fat tug here. Check him out. Ain't he cute? I like him. He's very funny. I like him. That's good. There's another one too. There's a more serious. I like it too. I think it's funny too. You know. I'll check this one out as well. Yeah, wait 1 second. Check him out. Isn't he cool? Woohoo! I like it. That looks really good. Actually, the face came out really good. You know, that style too. I like that style. That almost marker style. I like that. It looks really good. Thank you for that too. That's so funny. Little fat tug. Oh my God. It amuses the hell out of me. You people are funny, man. All right. Max Lab. Thank you for kicking it up there. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you for everything you do too, brother. Appreciate you, my friend. Let's see. Sister Sal. What's up, Sister Sal? Thanks for the 10 there. Smash them likes and share content indeed. And thank you all for showing again. Sunday is not my regular day to go forward, but I really wanted to cover something today. I wanted to talk about what's been going on. And I'm glad, like, again, these people have that John Cook says he's going to sue me. So I thought it'd be funny to laugh at that, you know? Emmy, thanks for the 5 giftos. Thank you, Emmy. That is awesome of you, by the way. I appreciate it. Your Muppet's awesome there. That's awesome there. Rick Friend, thanks for rolling up on the year. Appreciate that. Hashtag denied. That's right, man. There's so much. We still haven't read the Robbie motions and all that. God, Randy, you're like just rolling into that. That was good too. AJ Stone, 30 months there. Thank you, AJ. That is awesome. Howdy, folks. Well, hey there to you. Appreciate you. Love to you too, brother. Sean, thanks for the 12 months. That's a year. Thank you for the year. Appreciate it. We love you, Tug. And of course, we're here. Well, I appreciate it. I know too. I feel the love. I do. I appreciate all of you being here. Like I said, and I really do hope that you are entertained. There's a lot more to go through. Again, like I said, we have a lot to cover because there are admissions over what has happened. It will take us a while to sort through it all. But they've admitted a lot to us. You know, what's good too is when they talk about it, again, they have to, because when they're feuding, they're being called liars. And people are asking them in the chats what exactly is going on because they told people for over a year to give money to Lynette Preston. So people are very confused why, if they know that she's all these terrible things, she can't handle her money and that she's this ridiculous way that she acts like that. Why exactly were they asked to give money in the first place? Like, why her? Why not somebody deserving? And I mean, when they start asking that question, maybe they should look at the people that have been telling them about him. Again, they wanted to paint her as a victim forever, but they wanted to also paint everything she said as true. If she doesn't lie and you have to take her at her word without evidence, because, you know, they don't ever really show any evidence. If you have to take that, then everything she's saying about Lisa, about all them, it's true too. She doesn't need proof, right? Because they told you to listen and believe. So why aren't you listening and believe? Know your place, right? That's why listen and believe is a poison. That's why I rant about it all the time. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you. Hey, Mary. What's up, Mary? How you doing, by the way? My favorite YouTuber. Howdy. Well, hey there. Howdy to you. And Mary, thank you, too. I much appreciate you. I do. I see you all the time when you're there, and I appreciate you. I'm coloring that turtle game again. You know, the hungry hippo with the turtles. I'm coloring in the. You know, it comes with little yellow balls they eat. I'm coloring them silver. You know, because they're all gobbling up money, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to try to individuate each turtle. I'm creating the Otter Creek version of it. Oh, it's fun. I've got one ball, like I said, it's red, but it's not well painted. I didn't want it solid red like it came that way. I want a yellow ball like it's been golden with a lot of red over it. Why? Because there's blood on their hands and they know it. That's the start ball. Thank you, Mary. Razilla, thanks for the vibe. What's the difference between John Cook and Sasquatch? Crick can't smell Sasquatch. Sasquatch probably smells better too. It's so funny. That's probably true there. Kevin, thank you for the membership. Thanks, Kevin. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs, by the way. That is much appreciated, Kevin. Sister Sal dropped 5 giftos on everybody. Thank you, Sister Sal. Like I said, you are very appreciated too. I always love your Muppet. It's so happy there. Appreciate it. Sister Sal, thanks for the fun. I've seen I watch So You Don't Have To on Facebook. She's going to be live with Jeremy. Hey, that's great, actually. That is very good. I watch So You Don't Have To. I enjoy her content. Like she does a really good job. If you haven't watched or haven't read, rather, I watch So You Don't Have To. One of the things that I really like about her content is that she covers this stuff that is so boring. Like these people, unless they're feuding or something, their shows are awful. You know, their numbers have dwindled too. Yeah, here's another problem they're going to face, by the way. The numbers that they're maintaining right now, they're getting about 600 or 700 people, right? But a lot of them are tied to Jeremy Hales, the fans of Jeremy Hales and more. Their shows are going to eat it, and they don't have anything that makes people want to watch. They're a terrible show. And anybody they try to thirst trap people with those avatars. Well, people just need to remind folks that those avatars are not the real people there. You know, later on, if they ever get any kind of attraction, people need to remind, no, they're not their avatars. If you can't hear that in their voices, they are definitely thirst trapping some people. But even then, that's going to be difficult. So the real claim to fame they've had, and I've watched channels do this all the time, is Jeremy Hales. That's the only claim to fame they have. And even then, even though they're being sued and more, people are getting tired of him. They don't like him. So they need to keep this drama. Like Preston, they have to come to some kind of place with Preston, unfortunately. Like lips, people don't seem to like lips. I got to clear my throat. Give me 1 minute. This weather, man, wears down my throat. You hear it. I think that's great, though, Sister Sal. I think that is good. I watch So You Don't Have To. It really makes it where we can listen, like we can deal with some awful stuff. I think we get good breakdowns. We get some good breakdowns by Jay and the crew, and we get good breakdowns by Watch So You Have To. So thanks for the breadsticks. Thank you for that. That is much appreciated, Sue. Thank you very much on that. Hazel Monte, thanks for the 10 there. Breadstick money for the education and entertainment we are receiving every stream. Unlike the leeches who jumped on the bandwagon, without knowledge or common sense. Any leftovers, candy money. Thank you for that. Yes, indeed. One of the things that we have tried to do is we have tried to make sure there's so much that goes on in this. Again, there are so many moving parts that we really do have trouble keeping up with everything. Again, we haven't, like the Robbie document, like we haven't read that with the service on Robbie. You know, we're behind on that. And that's crazy too. Actually, 2L did the dumbest thing with that as well. She admitted she could get her documents, right? But Jeremy's like, yo, I can't. And she was talking last night too. I was looking through the transcript, and she was saying that at the police department down there, Robbie's actually kind of a superstar. He's kind of a celebrity in his own right with them. I was like, man, you are making Jeremy Hale's case for him. You know, good job. What an idiot. Like, they don't know when to shut the fuck up. It's the same thing they did with Preston, you know. So dumb. Thank you, though. I appreciate that. That is awesome. Love the Muppet, too. Thank you. Kevin, what's up, Kevin? Thank you for that gifted membership. Saw it drop in, saw it hit somebody. Appreciate that. You know, I love those. That is, like I said, my favorite thing on this app. Sister Sal. Thank you for the additional 2. The Delulu is strong with it. It is. It very much is. These people, they seem like they have lost their ever-loving minds some days, don't they? It is nuts. Jane, thanks for the 7 months there. Back you guys up 100%. Good to be here. Well, thank you for that. If they ever do, like I said, if we ever need help with something too, we'll mention it. You know, I talk about when they say they're going to say, if they ever did, my God. See, they're so dumb. Like, what would John Cook be able to sue with anyway? What's he going to do? Is he going to pay them in? I mean, really? Is he going to barter for it? I got $50 defense. My God. Thank you, Jade. I much appreciate you. Cynic, what's up? Vexatious litigant. Yeah, goodbye to being barred in New York. Yes, indeed. If she gets labeled a vexatious litigant, she's going to have a very, very big problem about getting her getting her reintroduction to law in New York. That's been their big plan. So that would be a big problem for them too. Cynic, thanks for the 2. What is Crick suing over? Hurting his feelings? I guess. I'm not sure, you know. He's dumb enough. He probably thinks that he can sue because somebody covered the case. And again, they had Bruce talking to them for the longest time. And Bruce really, I think he gave them the idea that they could sue over just about anything, you know? I wonder what Bruce told them. Like I said, you know, they're still saying that Bruce is a hero. They haven't come to the realization that Bruce has screwed them in this. One day they will turn on Bruce like they have turned on 2L. Just give it time. Mama Cat, thanks for the 7 months there. Mental illness plus no moral compass makes for dangerous pain. Yes, I really wish this situation would resolve itself. Indeed. You know, unfortunately, these people will never stop. They won't. I'm hoping that over time, Jeremy Hales prevails in a way that it wrecks these folks. But you don't know. Unfortunately, I think Fed 1 is it's in a good place. Fed 1 is going to be very difficult for these people. You know, they're con, especially when they did not get a lawyer. They lied to the court. They decided to get a bankruptcy lawyer instead, but they lied and said they were getting a lawyer. That really screwed them there. So I think that's in a good place. I think getting past a certain point is good too. Fed 2, we'll see. It's still in the beginning phases. And like I say, I don't want to take my thoughts on a case and say that because I think this and that it's going to go a certain way. I mean, you just don't know. But I think Fed 1 is in a good place right now. It got past all there's huge hurdles in the beginning. Suing people is not as easy as you think it would be. you know. But I've had one came along real good. Man, I only think I've got 5 more of these little yellow hungry hippo things to do. I'm doing them slow. I could spray paint them, but that's not as fun. I might spray paint them afterwards just to give them a little bit of bling into it, but I don't want to do them at first. I'm going to color them. Uncle, what's up, Uncle Frederick? Thanks you for the super chat. Candy money. Thank you for that. I also appreciate you too, my friend. That is awesome of you. Thank you. Candy money. A little one, by the way. She tired herself out. She was taking a nap. She's like, I got to take a nap, Dad. I was like, all right. I mean, she'd been running wild. But she's so funny. She'd been going since she slept for a little while last night. She got up, she was going again. And she just, you know how kids can be. They go until they just crash out. She crashed out finally. Cynic, thanks for the 5 there. Not sure if I stated this or if someone else did it first, but ice cream and candy money for Lug and Buck. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm actually, they're going to have a trip to their grandma's on Thursday. So I'm going to load them up because I'm going to load them up with some fundage because grandma will take them and, buy stuff for them and take them down to wherever they want to eat. You know how grandmas are. So I'm going to make sure they bring money with them for that. They're funny like that. They're also, they got all their school stuff. The little one is, I got to make sure to give her a good reward on her schooling. She's been working really hard on it. We've been working. I've been walking a lot. She likes to come down. She wants to work out and walk too. She tells me I'm working out too, Dad. So we've been working on her counting. We've been working on her counting to 100 and her understanding addition and subtraction and all that good stuff. And she's been doing really good on it. So thank you, man. I appreciate it. Mama Cat, thanks for the 10 there. Sitting here waiting for my apple pie. Sounds good there. To cool down, listening to the gentle voice of Tug and Umbrella Guy. Happy Sunday all. Indeed. Man, that sounds good there. My mom made me some banana pudding last week. Banana pudding. Man, I love that stuff. I love homemade pies and all that. Oh, it's so good. So I envy that. I think that sounds really good right now. JF, thanks for the 5 there. That's queer as fuck. How doesn't my head hurt when oh my God, dude. Like sometimes like trying to keep up with this stuff, it really is. It's like watching stupid sometimes, and watching them do other stuff to other people really does get my ire up. It does. Now, I mean, I can laugh at stupid and enjoy myself. My problem is, like right now, what they're doing to each other really does make me laugh. But listening to what they think they are doing, and the reason they've been doing certain things to Jeremy Hales is because they think they can get away with it. They think that there's, like, again, no discovery or any of that. It's so dumb, and it does make your brain hurt, doesn't it? City Chief, maximum lulls. I want David/Lynette's cash to be gone down Lisa's gullet, and then for her and Gabe to end up at the slammer for a BBB can stay in Armenia. That could actually happen. I mean, for real. They want to tell you. You can tell that 2L is worried about this stuff. You can tell. Like she can do her job of the hut laugh all she wants, but ultimately you can really tell she's scared. Because she knows. I mean, they have gotten in trouble. Not they, but her man has gotten in trouble before for this kind of shit. And he is way too close to this fundraiser. I cannot believe, honestly, that somebody has not reported this to the correct authorities. Again, I thought about it at one time, but I thought, I want to watch it play out. If somebody else train wrecks it, cool. But I want to watch it. I want to see it. I want enough money to roll in that these people, when it disappears, they have a real problem. Because one of the problems they're going to have is they're going to have to account for all money if it happens, you know? Sinking Chief, thanks for the fun there too. Don't want Lynette to go to jail. Better for her to publicly whine on Facebook in a shelter somewhere. Same with Marla and Ray. Indeed. Ray kills me with some of this stuff. Like I said, he uses the tragedy that's going on in his life as a shield, and that annoys me so much, because he says, well, I'm not covering this, and if it comes up, if somebody mentions it, he's like, oh, why don't they leave me alone? I'm dealing with this. Dude, shut the fuck and go on, you know, go on. Thank you, Sean. Dude, I saw that. I thought this was funny. Oh my God, Tug, you singing made me laugh so hard I fell out of floaty. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's funny. DTG, thanks for the 9 months. Tug should change the stream title and include Sing Along with Tug. I don't know. I don't know why Wind Beneath My Wings is what out of anything. I don't know why that specific song, you know. I've had, for some reason, I wear my sunglasses at night stuck in my head. You know, I've been on stream, not just randomly. I'm just saying on stream. I don't know why. But Andrew, I thought this was a good point too. All of them got new phones and laptops, and they did. They did. They personally enriched off of this, and it was really interesting how that came in. Remember how they denied that they were doing that, by the way? They all got this new stuff. You find out that no money actually ended up with. I wonder if all of them got money out of it, or who. I wonder who got, you know, if it all went into a certain person's pocket, if it went into a few pockets. What was the distribution like? I also, again, I wonder about certain weirdos for hire. Those weirdos don't hang around unless there's dollary dues to be paid. So who's been rewarding those weirdos too? Because they told you they weren't going to stick around unless they were paid $10K. $300 per. So what's their motivation? I wonder about all that kind of stuff. And I love it when we get answers. Like when stuff breaks down here. That's why I said I would help Lynette, simply to answer questions for myself and to entertain me too. But she's so dumb. She'll burn that bridge, and then later on she'll be like, "Oh, I don't know why nobody will help me." She's already doing it. I don't know why nobody will help me. Well, we offered, dude. So screw you. I swear. Andre, thanks for the 2 there. She must be brain dead. She's being used. She knows she is. She knows that she got screwed out of money. She just thinks that she can somehow convince, if she talks enough, she can convince those people that were giving her all that money to come back to the fold. Because she doesn't understand that Lisa hijacked everything about it. She used her kid. They turned her kid into a movement, and she basically hijacked her name and her child. It's wild, you know, and she managed to get herself sued. She ultimately made this thing about herself. She saw that it was a moneymaker. She can cry here and there. In fact, she started to cry last night. It was really funny because her co-host kept talking over her while she was going to cry. And then she gave up on it because she was like, well, they'll say I'm trying to grift by crying, so I'll quit. It was pretty funny. Oh, the transcripts are so good. You should pull up the transcripts and read them for yourselves. They're really good. You can pull them up. You can go online, by the way. You can just go, you can type in transcript for YouTube videos. And there are sites they'll give you the YouTube transcript like this. Just bam. You don't even have to worry about it. Just take the link, drop it in for anything, and you can get a transcript with the timestamps. DTG, thanks for the 5. What? LMNOP, say the bus stops here. Well, because somebody won't give her a buck. That's true. That's funny. The bus stops here. That's actually pretty funny. Andrew. I said Andre. I'm sorry, man. Andrew. I don't know why my brain went that way. Thanks for the tip. I have a V on VHS. Was so good. Oh yeah, V is such a good show. I enjoy that show. I didn't like they tried to remake it, and I didn't like that very much. But I liked it back in the day. I remember when it came out, very that ages me. You can tell how old I am with stuff. But I remember when that show came up because it was such an odd idea. It was something for TV. It was such a crazy idea for mainstream TV. I loved it. I remember watching that. Laura B. Hey, what's up, Laura B? I appreciate you, Laura. Thanks for the 249. We choose Matthew McConaughey to act as Tug. He'd be like, all right. That would be fun, man. That'd be just be funny if you could get that. Kevin, thank you for the super chat. Not a statement attached, but there is a statement in it. And thank you for backing that channel. That is the statement for sure. Thank you. Linda, thanks for the 5. I think Felisa is holding someone over LP's head. LP goes after Felisa. Will spill the beans. It's all crazy. Yeah, she's got something else besides money on her. You can tell. I 100% agree with that. Very much so. Allie, what's up, Allie, by the way? Appreciate you. Thanks for the 5 there. Maybe they're content with a one-sided perimeter fence. I'm sure. And a Willy rocker rather than home. Yeah, maybe that's their concession. It's like, you don't have a home, but hey, would you like some peen rocks? Maybe if they get enough peen rocks, they could build them a little lean-to. Oh my God. Hey, we should offer that. We should offer to build them a lean-to made out of peen rocks. Like John. John should live in it. That's what we'll offer for John. Hey John, if you'd like another place to live in, you may not be able to get your almost $100,000 back, but hey, you know what? We'll beat you a lean-to shelter made out of little peewees. You know why? Well, because I think you'd enjoy it. Because I think you're a phobe for sure. You remember how you threw that fit about the LGBT, and then they tried to blame it on Jeremy? I think it would be really funny if somebody built him a peen rock shelter just to be like, now you get to live in it, sir. Oh my God, that was so good. Nort, thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. And welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you for that. I like your avatar. The hoodie looks really good in there. A lot of times, clothing wise, the Muppets, they don't cooperate, and that came out really good. I said it. I did it again, man. Andrew, I don't know why I did that again. I said Andre again. I don't know what's wrong with me. Andrew, thanks for the 2 there. We need to see it done when done. Oh yeah, I'll definitely show you like the hungry ones. I'm trying to figure out how to make them slap each other. I was thinking about putting like a wacky wall walker or something, attaching it where I had a new rule where they could slap each other or something. I'm not sure yet, but I'm working on a little bit at a time. I got a what the hell sticker. I think I might put in the middle of it or something. I think that might be funny. Just because the money rolls to the middle, right? And they're trying to grab it. What the hell's money? So I thought it would be funny if you put a what the hell sticker in the middle. Because the money's generating from what the hell's. They want his money. Fallen Hero, thank you for the gifted membership there. Thank you, Fallen Hero. It's good to see you, my friend. I'm glad to see you there, brother. That Rhea Rye. What's up, Rhea Rye? Thanks for the 2. Dead Punk director. He's gonna direct it for us. Autocrete the movie. You know what, Dead Punk? It'd be really funny. Why don't you go on location there for a little bit? I bet you'd love. I'd love to hear from Nidpug after they'd be like, "Oh my God, Doug, you have no idea." And I'm not talking about Otter Creek. I'm talking about the having to deal with the nut jobs down there. You know, like the Preston and Biscuit Boy, not like the regular folks out there. But God, what's crazy? People are like, "Hey, Otter Creek." There's good people out there, but you realize, like, when you look at all the crazy folks, like when we deal with, there's around 100 residents, right? When we deal with the Preston household alone, right? That's 3% of the population. You add Marla, there's 4%. You see, you add in the neighbors that are complaining about the memorial. We're closing in on 10% of the population. So you can see why people would be like, this place is scary. Unfortunately, that 10% overshadows the rest of the freaking thing. Every person counts as a large percentage in this small place too. So they start to overshadow the place. That's awful. Yeah, we do need a movie down there, though. That'd be real funny. AKA the cat lady. Thanks for doing. I love spicy stuff. Well, thank you. I love it when people want to threaten me, just because I try to stay decently nice online. A lot of times they want to, again, people like John Cook. John Cook said a lot of nasty things about Hales, and unfortunately, Hales has to take it seriously because this wacko lives across the street from him and has produced a pew pew and everything else. But I mean, when you remember when he tried to step to Travis and Travis called him out, Travis just utterly made him look like a fool. And John Cook did nothing because he's a coward. You remember that? That was fun, wasn't it? So he's talked about all this. Again, he talks a big game, but he doesn't do a lot there. RBA, thanks for the 5 there. Thanks for being one of the good guys. Well, hey, thanks for being here and being part of that as well. Again, we try to do our best. We try to do our research on stuff. Again, if I thought Jeremy Hills was at fault with something, then we would absolutely be having a different discussion. What I have found with Jeremy Hills is I think Jeremy Hills is tired of the BS from these people. He has been loud about it, and I like that. I like the fact that he's taken it. He tried to be quiet for a minute. I went back to the beginning and I watched all of that stuff, and I watched how it played out. And I'm actually glad. I'm glad we picked up on this. I'm glad because otherwise these people, God, they have tried to erode his mental health, and if you have people that stand with you, that helps. It does, And then again, they've tried some terrible stuff. So I'm glad to be in that too. I'm glad that we could research it. And if Eshan, thanks for 11 months. I sent you a funny image to your email. Let me see what's there. Oh no, let me check. Oh my goodness, I wonder. Oh no, that's pretty funny. Check this out. That's actually pretty good. Give me 1 second here. Come on, download. There it goes. Here, you want to see something funny, folks? This is how the movie version would go, right? And this would be the real life, right? And this would be the actor. You're like, wait a minute. What happened to the little round guy? All right. Oh, I love it. That's really funny. Christine, thanks for the 6 months. Bean shelter, new mean to tiny home. Yeah, well, that's for sure. They got the tiny, like really below average home. They got the tiny home, right? Oh my God, that's funny. All right, give me a second here. Let me. 1 minute. Okay. I'm going to do a redirect. Let me check Mr. Hales. He should be He should be ready. He should have his huge court news. The updates on this stuff should be quite fascinating too. I think he'll have some pretty good stuff to cover. Like with everything that's been going on as of late, it should be really good. So I'm gonna set up my redirect to him, and then we'll go from there. It's been weird to actually do a live stream on a Sunday. I haven't done one in a long time. Usually I take off, but everybody's asleep here too. So, you know, man, the redirect doesn't want to take. Give me a second. I'm going to try this again. That's weird. It didn't want to add in the stream. Let me see if it'll do it now. Sometimes the redirects go nuts and they don't want to work right. Let me see if it'll do it. Come on, it won't redirect. It will not redirect. So let me try one other thing with it. And if it won't redirect, I'm gonna see if it'll do. That's so weird, man. What the hell? I'm gonna try it manually. Just give me a second. Yeah, it won't do a redirect. It's freaking out. Let's try it this way. There it goes. Got it. It wouldn't redirect for a minute there. So, like, it wouldn't acknowledge it. The way the redirects work is I have to go in, I have to put in the link to it, and then when I sign off, it notices that link and it sends you all to it. Well, it wouldn't acknowledge that the link was a legit live stream. So I finally got it in there, so it will do it now. Razilla, thanks for the day. The ecosystem's biggest fear is squirrels. You know why? Because they can't dump them on the Dead Dog Road. Oh my God. What a bunch of weirdos, man. Like I said, I do feel bad for the kid involved in this. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, the kid isn't my responsibility. You know, I'm not going to fundraise for these people. I'm not going to try to help out when they obviously, why would I? They've been terrible people, you know, and the money would go to people that I wouldn't want. They have money out there though. And if they want to fight for it, like I said, they can hit me up. But John Cook, I would put a condition on that none of the money would go to John Cook because he's a piece of shit. So that would be a condition for helping too. It was never raised under John Cook's name. So as a condition of that, the dime couldn't go to John Cook because he is an absolute piece of shit. So we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to redirect you. I appreciate you. Oh, wait, we got one more too. Sassy. What's up, Sassy, by the way? Appreciate you there. Thanks for two. Marla does not live in Otter Creek, next town over. I kept thinking she was an Otter Creek denizen. So she acts like she is. You know what? Like, that is one of the biggest freaking messed up things there, because Marla pretends like she is part of, she inserts herself so much that you would think she's in it. Did you know John's been going to her house, by the way? Isn't that weird? Remember what they said about the Grangers? About going, remember what Lynette implied, that if somebody's being nice to her, what she tried to say about Mr. Granger. So what does that mean? And then what is John doing? John, what are you doing? She was like, he's coming over. He's bringing me them diamond like rocks. He's dropping his diamonds on her. I'm not saying she's a gold digger. Anyway, I'm going to redirect you before I say something really stupid. Okay, well, before I say more stupid, I'll see you all later. Peace.